Which shoe should you buy? Good morning, YouTube. What's up, everybody? Hope you're safe and healthy and happy and doing okay. Today we are comparing two shoes. You guys seem to like it when I do that. And that's enough singing for one video. So yes, as you probably already gathered, today we're gonna be comparing the Hoka Mach 6 to the New Balance Rebel V4. I thought these two shoes would be good to kind of do a showdown with because they're similar. They're daily trainers by trade, but they can also pick up the pace and are expected to when needed. They're both from their brand's performance line of shoes, and they both cost the exact same price. Is this starting to make sense to you? So today we're going to compare the uppers, the midsoles, the outsoles, and hopefully help you to determine which one of these shoes you should buy. And at the end, I'll tell you which shoe I would buy. Before we break down the shoes, I do want to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel recently. I hit 20K subs maybe about a month ago, and we're just trying to climb on up. So if you haven't subscribed already, please go do that. Every subscription helps. And if one video a week on YouTube is not enough for you, then I suggest you go follow me on Instagram at @RunLikeHeller. I'm posting shoe content, live content, I don't know, all the content that the contenters content. I'm doing it too. So again, go follow me there at RunLikeHeller. Thanks! And one more thing before we get started, I do want to let you know that these shoes were sent to me by both brands, New Balance and Hoka. However, neither company is going to see this video before you. They can't tell me what to say, and all of my opinions are always my very own. All right, so let's just dive right into it and talk about the uppers of these two shoes, starting with the Rebel. New Balance used a synthetic engineered mesh for the upper of the Rebel. It is a very lightweight material. You can see your sock right through that forefoot, so it is going to be very breathable. In the midfoot, we have a Phantom Fit technology that just helps to lock you into the platform better around the midfoot. And the back of the heel counter is fairly sturdy. Now the Hoka Mach 6, on the other hand, is also utilizing a mesh. Hoka's calling this a Creole Jacquard mesh. It's gonna be a little thicker than the Rebel V4's upper. In that midfoot, there's no fancy technology to hold you onto the platform, but it gets the job done. And that heel counter in the back is gonna feel a bit more sturdy than the Rebels. Now the biggest difference here for me with these two shoes is fit. I found the upper of the Rebel V4 to be pretty wide as a whole, just across the board. It takes me a lot to get a proper fit in this shoe. I have to cinch the laces down pretty tight. I am able to do it, but I think for my narrow foot, this fitting really isn't the best. The Mach 6, on the other hand, is pretty narrow. I know a lot of people who don't have narrow feet like I do complain that it's almost too narrow for them. I don't have that problem. This upper fits me like a glove. I'm able to get a nice solid fit without having to yank those laces down too much. So fit-wise, the Mach 6 just makes more sense to me. When it comes to breathability, I'm gonna give that to the Rebel V4. It's just a much lighter material. Like I said, you can see almost the entirety of your sock right through that forefoot. I think the look and construction of the Rebel's upper screams more of a racing flat type of tempo day shoe. Well, the Mach 6, while not too thick, it is thicker and gonna be a little bit less breathable and gives me more daily trainer vibes. But I had no issues with hot spots, blisters, or irritation with either of these uppers. So I guess when it comes to which one is my favorite here, I'm gonna go with the Mach 6 just because it fits me a lot better. It just makes more sense for my type of foot. It doesn't make the Rebel bad in any sense of the word, and I am able to get a good fit in this shoe, but it just takes more time, whereas I can just slip this right on, lace it up, and not think twice about it. So for the upper, I'm going with Mach 6. Moving on down to the midsoles, the main event. The Rebel V4 is sporting a version of Feel Cell foam that has both EVA and PIBA in it to give it a little bit of extra bounce. It's full length, and no, there is no plate in this shoe. And the Hoka Mach 6 is rocking a super critical foam here. That's also expected to bring more response and bounce to the foam. And no, this also does not have a plate. So when I put these two shoes on side by side this morning and just walked around the house a bit, I was actually surprised about how similar they felt underfoot. That new feel cell composition feels a lot similar to the supercritical foam here used in the Mach 6. You feel a nice squish under your foot, but it's not going to be that quicksand feel. And it's also fairly minimal. It's not a ton of foam under your foot. It just gets the job done. Now, I believe the Mach 6 has slightly more foam in it, and I think that is a bit noticeable, especially when running. And another trait of the Mach 6 that I noticed over the Rebel is that it just feels more evenly distributed in terms of the foam. In the Rebel, it felt like the forefoot needed a little more to me, while the heel had a ton of foam. In the Mach 6, it feels like the forefoot has just as much as the heel, and I do tend to like that sort of thing a little bit better. However, despite the fact that the Mach 6 feels a little more evenly distributed, it also feels a bit flat. Now, this shoe is supposed to have what I believe is an early stage meta rocker, which just is a technology to help roll you forward in your stride, and I don't really feel that in the Mach 6. It feels pretty flat to me. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when I did do a speed workout in this shoe, it just made it a tiny bit more difficult to pick up the pace. The Rebel V4, on the other hand, has a really nice roll forward in the toe area, one that I certainly feel, and that really just only helps me get up on my toes whether I'm going faster or even on a slower day. And while this may not have as much foam as the Mach 6, I still feel like that roll forward in the toe is a big game changer for me and just makes the shoe more versatile. I would be more inclined to take out the Rebel V4 for a speed day workout than I would the Mach 6. And for that reason, I think I would honestly pick the Rebel V4's midsole over the Mach 6. The Rebel just feels like the more do-it-all shoe to me. In terms of durability and stability, I would say durability-wise, they're both holding up pretty well. I have more miles in the Rebel at this point, and there is some creasing on the medial side of the foam from my overpronation, but also just that's a characteristic of PIBA, I've noticed. Likely because it is a little more shoe, the Mach 6 might hold up a bit better. And stability-wise, I'd say it's also a bit better just because there's more to hold you down onto that platform. Both midsoles, though, are really, really fantastic, and you can't go wrong. It's just going to depend on what you're really looking for, as I always say in these videos. If you want what feels like more underfoot, the Mach 6 is the way to go, but if you're looking for something that feels fast but can also do daily training stuff, then Rebel V4 all the way. Moving on down to the midsoles. The New Balance Rebel V4 is using strategically placed rubber here. It is pretty minimal with a lot of exposed fuel cell foam. And the Hoka Mach 6 is using their Durabrasion rubber, and there's a lot more of it. Both of these shoes are pretty good in terms of traction. I haven't had any real issues, though I do think the Mach 6 edges it out a bit just because there's more rubber here, and I think it's maybe slightly better quality. But even here you can see how much wider the Rebel is over the Mach. When it comes to the pricing of the Rebel V4 and the Mach 6, they are the exact same price. Both of these shoes are available on runningwarehouse.com for $139.95, which I think is a fantastic price for either of these shoes. I feel like it's so rare these days to have a shoe that's $140. Usually it's like $150 plus. So really either way, again, can't go wrong. Both of these shoes are going to give you a bang for your buck just because of how versatile they are. If you're interested in picking up either pair of shoes here, I will put links in the description of this video. Just click those links and pick up your own pair. Keep in mind, the links will be affiliate links with Running Warehouse. However, it doesn't mean much for you. It just helps out my channel so I can keep making these videos and hopefully helping you to determine which of these shoes you would buy. Now, for which one I would buy. I think here I'm gonna have to go with the New Balance Rebel V4. Despite the fact that I gotta kind of work with the upper to get the proper fit, it doesn't matter because I just love the way this midsole feels under my foot, and to me that is the most important part of a running shoe. You're getting cushion, protection, and comfort, but you're also getting a fast feeling package with a solid roll in that toe area. It just feels fast, and it even makes my daily training, maybe easier runs, feel like I can go a little bit faster. faster. Have you tried the Rebel V4 or the Hoka Mach 6? Are you interested in either of these shoes? Are you gonna pass on both? I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Well, everyone, that concludes this video on which should you buy, the Hoka Mach 6 or the New Balance Rebel V4. If you enjoyed this video, please like it down below and subscribe. And when you're done with all that, hit the notifications bell so you can find out every time I upload a new video. And of course, you gotta tell me which one you like the look of better. Hoka Mach 6, New Balance Rebel V4, huh? Which one? I have another video for you next week, but in the meantime, get out there, get on the grind, and don't forget to run like heller. See you next time. Oh, there she is. That's what we wanted.
Ridiculous.
Oh, show everybody Gator Girl. Yeah, everyone's been looking for you. Okay, say bye-bye.
Oh.